So today I'm starting a new series on my channel and it's going to be called the Rebrand series. A lot of you have been asking me how to rebrand your life, how I have been rebranding my life, because I always seem to be in a rebrand. And it's not just as simple as changing your hair color. 6 videos in this series, and today's one is all about the beginning. Where you're starting off, where you're at right now, your current reality. Before you start off with this journey, you're going to want to get either a planner or a journal or a notebook, something that you can just write down everything that you're going to do. Laptop in front of me, and I'm going to be reading them off from here. So as I said, step number 1 is to get yourself a journal. A little pen from Amazon to go with mine, but you don't need to get an expensive one, just any journal will do. Then you need to make a list of bullet points of what in your life you need to get rid of, things that you need to declutter, anything that you need to change, and just make a change. This is where you really just reflect on everything. Kind of step could also be called the reflection. For example, if I was to redo this, I would probably write down my relationships, my career, my physical, how I look, my style, any area that you can think of in your life, your hobbies, your diet, your daily routine. Make a list and a bullet point in your journal. Think about what is currently draining you in your life. It could be a job that you hate going to. It could be a relationship that you feel physically and mentally drained after being around that person, or they're not putting in the effort that you're putting in. It could be friendships, family, relationships, any of those. And just really think what is draining me. It could be something as simple as a supplement that you're taking that's actually physically making you tired. Really just analyze that and reflect, and when you actually have it written down, it's so much easier to put the pieces together. Like they always say, if you're trying to figure out a food that is triggering your body, it's much better to track it and kind of write notes and see what's affecting you. As well as that, it could be clothes that you need to declutter. Things that don't suit you, that aren't your style, things that have holes in them, that are just sitting there that you've never worn, pieces that for some reason, if you haven't worn something in the last 12 months, it needs to go. I'm sorry, but it does. And that's not taking into consideration the seasons. Obviously, if it's something from winter you haven't worn in the past 6 months, then wait till the next season and then see. But that's going to be in a whole different video. We're going to do go into all about glowing up physically, but this is just kind of what you need to declutter first. If you have any bad habits, you know that you wake up late, you know that you stay up late, you know that you don't work out, any bad habits that you have, you know that you want to change your diet but you haven't for some reason. So another one that you need to kind of reflect on is the past, where you were before and where you are now, and how it's brought you to where you are. Any habits that you've had that has been either good for you or bad for you. So think back to a time when you were extremely happy and everything was going well. What were you doing then? Who were you around? What did you eat? What was your routine? That's the key, and that's the secret to a rebrand. Maybe you were never doing good routines. Maybe you weren't happy. So now you got to think of, what can I do to get to that place? Another really strange one that you might not think of is open loops. These are things that you need to declutter, because if you have a constant open loop of, you say that you're going to clean your room and weeks and weeks go by and you keep putting it off, that's an open loop. That is draining your energy, and you cannot move forward until you close open loops. It could be you didn't get closure from somebody. Do you really need to get closure from them, or can you close the open loop and just move on and let go of the past? So this one is really heavily focused on decluttering your life, but also a little bit of reflection on the past. If you have any health issues that you need to deal with, why have you been ignoring them? Do your research and really figure out what it is that you need to fix that health issue. For example, for me, I was dealing with long COVID and it really just took over. It was always playing in the background in an open loop, and I just felt like I needed to deal with it. And I've been having other issues as well that I'm addressing, and it just feels good to actually address those and not just live your life, go about your life and ignore them. And this also includes if you have a dentist appointment that you're avoiding, book that dentist appointment and go, because it's just another thing that you can tick off the list and prepare yourself to go into the next stage that we're going to be talking in the next video. So book those appointments, reflect on the past, and just write down what can you let go of? And then also you can start to physically let go of stuff as well. I think this is the best place to start, is look around your surroundings. And if you look at something, it's kind of like the Marie Kondo method. If you look at something and you're not happy, for example, if I look in my surroundings right now, everything in my surroundings I love, because I've curated it to be things that I actually love. And anything that hasn't, that doesn't look good, it's gone. I love my pillows, my pillowcase, the bed, like everything just looks good because I made it look good. Because I had that time of reflection to be like, okay, what do I need to change? What is my style? What do I need to put together to make it to be how I want it to be? I didn't just stay in the same style that I had my bedroom growing up. I always change and evolve and change the surroundings. So yeah, basically the conclusion of this video is just declutter every area in your life. And if you do have any questions about phase 1, then you can leave that in the comments below. But that is pretty much it for the first series of this video. And I will have the second one coming next week, which goes more deeper into everything. And it's definitely more going inward, and it's really, we're really going in there in the next series. So don't forget to subscribe and follow along. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will see you in the next video of this series.